Hey, Joe, what do you got for us tonight?
Well, in tonight's episode, we're going to cover the origins of the Highway Serial Killings Initiative, an FBI program that identifies and leaks unsolved murder cases that have occurred along interstate highways to support law enforcement agencies. We'll also talk about one of the most notorious killers the program has helped capture, Bruce Delane Mendenhall, a long-haul truck driver / murderer, also known as the Truck Stop Killer.
Quiet your mind. Ever since the Earth has circled the sun, there have been fantastic tales of wonder and mystery that the fate of heart dare not discuss. But 3 brave, uninformed souls have the brass to tackle every extraordinary happenstance, from the modern age to the dawn of Mantis.
Welcome to Dawn of Mantis, true crime, mysteries, and more. I am Ivan with Joe and Sam. Hey, Joe, we got kind of a special episode. This is kind of from a different origin. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, this is a different one. This is the first time tonight. We've done an episode or two in the past that you wrote, especially the HOA rules. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
I think there was another one. But as far as I can remember, we have never done an episode that one of us did not write, you know?
Yeah.
This is the first time. So this episode was written by a longtime listener and much, much longer time friend of ours named Lonnie.
Sure.
He is the artist who did the April Andrews sketch in our social media video.
He also did our Dawn of Mantis poster.
He did Dawn of Mantis. He designed that. He's done a lot of stuff for us, and he's an amazing artist and a friend. I've known Lonnie actually even longer than you two. I got to thinking about it on the way up here. And I've known Lonnie since like the mid to early 90s. I've known him at least 30 years or more.
Wow.
Back when we were kids, yeah. Because I remember working on his El Camino because it was running terrible and I worked on it and then it would smoke the tires and lay a black mark. Lonnie, do you remember that, buddy? All right. Anyway, long time ago.
Yeah, we should definitely plug his art. So if you want something that a human's made and that you can actually hang up and say human spent time on this, Combs Studio, I think is what it is. COMBS. Check that out and you can find his stuff on our stuff on social media. So if you want to reach out to him to get something made, he's a super friendly guy, one of the friendliest dudes I know.
Mm-hmm.
So reach out to him.
He's a great dude.
Yeah.
Just recently also, he's selling T-shirts with his own designs.
Oh, remember? Yeah, he did that true crime thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool, yeah.
There's one that says it's all in the details, and inside the font of that, you can see like, you know, the Post-its and the tacks and the red string. On
sure,
it's really cool, man.
Yeah.
And so he's got that up for sale.
Which makes me think of my favorite true crime thing is that they gather up all these boxes of case files, or, you know, a case file with all these boxes of evidence or whatever. And most of the time, the person that did it's in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like crazy to think there's a sheet of paper, even if it's just one piece of paper, and it's got a guy's name and they ruled him out because of something or they couldn't find it. I don't know. It's just neat about any of this stuff. Like, more than likely, it's never just like, oh, we didn't even have him on the radar at all, you know?
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth because I was going to say so often it's somebody they talked to early on.
Sure.
And was just like, they just kind of brushed aside, you know, or didn't get back to, or what so many times it's been that guy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So yeah, Lonnie the other day, and it's been several weeks ago now, so again, Lonnie, I apologize that it took us so long, but we just had so much to get out of the way before. But he messaged me and said, hey, what if I wrote an episode for you guys? There's this one thing I've been kind of obsessed with and researching a lot, and I'd like to write it out. And I said, sure, man, let's do it. Let's do it. That's one less I have to write.
No, that's amazing. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, keep them coming, people. Well, of course, especially if we know you.
For sure.
We just get a package of, do this one. And it's like, they've spent like 30 hours on it. It's like, that's not our cup of tea, you know?
So yeah, Lonnie wrote this for us, and I do want to be completely transparent here. I read through it several times before I printed it out, and I didn't change any content whatsoever, but I read nighttime stories to my kids all the time. It's hard for me to read things I didn't write, you know? I just have a stupid brain, and so unless I've written it in like the cadence and the flow, you know, and the familiarity of things that I have in my brain, it's kind of hard for me to read. So Lonnie, I did not change anything, but I did kind of like reword or rearrange a few things just to kind of fit my cadence and make it a little easier for me to read.
I could hear you saying that. Damn, Dr. Seuss. I can't get these rhymes down. Oh. Those are tough, and you're trying to be big for your kid and show your kid you're really smart. It's like, golly, these put a lot of one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish stuff.
And Dr. Seuss is my favorite to read to my kids, but you're right. When you're like on the fourth, and who's a what's a slew's a fut's it, said lux a plu's a he makes up words.
Exactly.
Oh, it's so hard to do.
Yeah.
So you F it totally up, and you have to be like, sorry, sweetheart, let's start that over.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you guys ready to get this started off?
Let's go.
There's something poetic about the American highway. Endless ribbons of asphalt cutting through forests, plains, and mountains. For many, it's freedom. For others, anonymity. And for some, it's opportunity. I, and this is through the eyes of Lonnie, so we'll pretend like I'm Lonnie, started looking into how authorities track when I noticed how many local incidents happened along I-40 near my home. So Lonnie, I hope you don't mind me saying this, lives down around near Alma, Arkansas. You know, what is that, a couple hours from here? Hour and a half to, from where?
Hour and a half?
Yes.
Okay. But it sits very near I-40, which is one of the main thoroughfares through, for east-west through America. Anyway, I'll continue. That's when I found there are projects in place to help track drug and sex traffickers and bring them to justice. Along those thoughts, I continued looking for ways they tracked killers and found the Highway Serial Killing Initiative. Between 1990 and 2007, across the Midwest and southern parts of the United States, dozens of women were found dead beside these highways. Bodies left in rest areas, in ditches, and truck stops. Sometimes the deaths were attributed to weather. Sometimes they were attributed to someone who traveled the road with evil intentions. The FBI started noticing a pattern. Scattered cases, sometimes years apart across different states. Women with similar profiles and similar circumstances. At first, each case seemed isolated, but as the bodies accumulated, investigators whispered to each other, could it be the same person? Multiple people? Mobile killers moving along with the road? That whisper soon developed into a program. In 2004, the FBI formally launched what would later be known as the Highway Serial Killings Initiative, or more commonly known as HSK. Its goal was simple. The concept was monumental in execution. Track the killers who treat highways like their hunting grounds. This is the story of HSK and the story of a man who fit its very profile, Bruce Delane Mendenhall. Before we meet Bruce, it's important to understand why highways became deadly corridors. Interstate 40, 65, 24, and 70. These weren't just roads. They were arteries connecting major cities, trucking routes carrying goods and sometimes predators. Long-haul truck drivers had access to countless states in a single week. However, concerning the crimes committed along these vast stretches of highway, jurisdictions were not communicating effectively. And the women traveling through or working along these thoroughfares became prime targets, tragically easy to disappear.
Yeah, we've talked about stuff like this, not really the highway thing, but just like crimes being committed in different locations and not knowing anything about it, even though it's not even that far away.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, this is a super smart idea to connect these that are obviously, you can find a connection.
And dude, I pictured it. I try to put myself in the place of, okay, what if I am a deranged, bloodthirsty serial killer and I'm a truck driver? And like Lonnie just put in the notes, you are traveling through 7, 8, 9, 10 states in a week, covering that much ground. Think about even back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, even the 90s, probably even the early 2000s, because this thing didn't start till 2004, the initiative. I mean, it was just like an open buffet.
Yeah.
Really? My God, how difficult must it have been to connect crimes across that far of a span?
Yeah. I mean, you go a few hundred miles and chances of that getting figured out is next to nothing.
It always reminds me of, there's a certain scene in the Zodiac Killer movie with not Tobey Maguire, but the other dude.
Jake Gyllenhaal?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I used to do that all the time.
They're the same person to me.
Jake overtook them at some point.
Oh,
I
for
think.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, but it used to always be Tobey Maguire was the guy, and then Jake Gyllenhaal was the always save Tobey Maguire. But I think they flipped now. I mean, just because Tobey Maguire, I'm sure he's doing some. I mean, he was in Spider-Man not too long ago. He reprised the role.
Sure.
But yeah, he kind of fell off the face of the earth a little
bit. But Jake Gyllenhaal, dude, okay, if you go back, if any of you listening, if you have not seen Donnie Darko,
fantastic.
You have got, that is a freaking must watch.
You have to watch
movie.
it a few times though.
Yeah.
I remember the first time
incredible.
I was just like scratching my head. But yeah, it's like dimensions. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah. But okay, so the movie that he was in,
Sure.
Zodiac Killer, you know, there's a scene where they're talking about a murder that happened up in Vallejo, and I think they're talking about it to a detective that worked in San Francisco or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, well, this murder happened in Vallejo that was similar. Do you know anything about that? And he was just like, no, I don't work in Vallejo. You know, it was a significant he was almost taken aback, like, what the shit do I care? I don't work in Vallejo.
Yeah.
That was the modus operandi for a long, long time. It's like, I don't give a shit about that. I don't work in that county.
Yeah.
I don't work in that city. You know, so it would be just, that's why I said the open bar basically for a serial killer, because back then, you know, there was a long time where law enforcement, if it didn't happen within their borders, they were just like, why would I give a shit, you know?
I think it should be illegal to kill outside your own county you live in. I think. No, that's a really dark joke, isn't it?
That's why I like it so much.
They should go to jail for that. It makes it too hard to solve.
Yeah. That's why it's so important that these things happen.
Since we're given like 30 life sentences, maybe it should be like, and a murder outside of your county, another life sentence. It's all a bunch of junk anyway.
Right, I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like when a murder, all those stories were like this guy that was in prison for life for 1,000,000 years kills another inmate. Like, yeah, why wouldn't he?
Yeah,
What are you going to
that's
tack
true.
on 40 years to my life sentence? What's going to change?
I mean, what would be wrong with like saying, well, there is the possibility of parole, but then it's like, no, not really. Don't tell him. Give him a little bit of hope, especially if he's like murdered several people, you know?
That's true.
That way, maybe it's like, you know, you might get out one of these days.
Well, I think there should be additional punishments, not just adding time, because if you're in prison for life already, adding more time is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So if you're, let's say I'm a guy in prison for life and I murder an inmate. Normally they would say, okay, well, guess what? More life in prison. And you're like, what? So instead of that, it should be something that decreases your standard of life while you're still in prison. Like every single day you have to watch like Grease 2 or something, you know? Like I don't know.
So I got this. I know.
I'm sorry to my wife. She prefers that over Grease 1. She's the only person on planet Earth. She's the only person on planet Earth that likes Grease 2 more than
I've
Grease 1.
never seen Grease 2.
Oh,
not
it's all she watches. She's like, Grease 1, she likes it, but it much prefers Grease 2.
What would happen in the sequel? Grease is still the way.
Oh, no, I
don't
can
even
tell
know.
you everything because I've seen it thanks to her 1,000 times. Proceed.
We're going to sing about my car again. Here's what you do. You put them on a polygraph, if that's a thing, if that's a true thing, which I don't really believe in. But you make them take a survey of all their least favorite things.
Oh.
And then that's the list you go down.
All you can eat is pickles for 2 weeks. Shit. I shouldn't have killed that guy. I regret it now.
What's your least favorite Home Alone? It's Home Alone 2. Okay, that's the one you got to watch.
Anything after 2 is shit. Like Home Alone 1 and 2 is great.
We're going to play the first little bit of the first one, and then we're going to switch it real fast.
No, I would say like making someone watch Home Alone 4 every day is tantamount to, you know, the death penalty.
Yeah. I mean, these prisons, we would get these things cleaned up. Like
Easily.
they wouldn't find any contraband. Like no more shanks. Like, hey, I just had to watch Home Alone 4. So I'm not messing with it.
I could hear him talking to his buddies in the yard. They're like, yo, Home Alone 4, dog? Oh, shit.
Then you get some
Damn.
lawyer that sues the jail. Your Honor, this
Cruel and
is
unusual punishment. I'm sorry. I know I took it.
No, it's okay. You can have it, man. Your Honor, we're treating this man like an animal.
I could hear Andy Dufresne.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I thought I had it hard after being assaulted every day by the sisters. But then Warden Norton made me watch Home Alone 4. That's when I knew I had to get out.
That's when he started tunneling out. There might be more escape attempts if we do our plan, so maybe we shouldn't.
Can I tell you, for me, the movie would be Halloween Town.
Halloween
That's the
Town?
most disturbing,
I
creepy.
don't know what it even is.
Is it Disney or?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's Disney.
It's a movie.
It was back in the 90s. But
Okay.
every person, it's hard to explain, but my wife loves that. Again, my wife loves that movie, so she forced me to watch it around Halloween. Every person in that movie looks like an always save human. They don't look like a real person. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They don't. I'm like, you don't look like you should be in a movie. You just look like you look like someone just walked into the DMV and said, everyone in here right now, let's make a movie. No one in that movie looks like they have any business being on TV.
Well, I mean, that's why they're in that movie, though. I mean, it's all the extras from all the other movies.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like you're an extra 10 times, then you get to star in something.
They just look like always save people. That's the way I've always put it. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. But anyway, let's move on.
Well, I mean, it's, you have a casting call and you take the best out of that. You can get a casting call for obscure made-for-TV movie. I mean, what are you going to get?
You're not going to get Matthew McConaughey showing up.
No, not all right.
That's true. That's true. I've never been to Halloween Town.
We should spoof it, but yeah, go.
I wish I had a better McConaughey impression. Mine sucks. So let's continue. Lonnie's probably like, God, I wish I would have sent my notes to a different podcast. I didn't write any of
this crap in the notes.
Halloween Town.
Go on 12-minute sidebar about crap movies. He has that in parentheses.
I'm sending my notes into someone else next time. You guys suck. Enter VICAP, which stands for the Violent Criminal Apprehension Program. This was a database designed to link violent crimes, homicides, sexual assaults, missing persons, etc.
Seems like we talked about that before.
Well, I think we have, yeah. Analysts started feeding it information from across states, different locations, different victim profiles, cause of death, evidence, even vehicle descriptions. Slowly, patterns emerged. Highway murders were particularly insidious, which I get because of the, just the vast expanses and anonymity that we talked about earlier.
Sure.
Bodies could be left miles apart, sometimes weeks apart, sometimes months apart. Investigators initially had no reason to connect a Tennessee death with one in Indiana or Kentucky, but VICAP started mapping connections. Some victim types, similar postmortem injuries, bodies left near a long-haul truck corridor, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm sure now with AI, it's got to be even better.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because you could the amount of data that it can handle, like I put on a lot of stuff sometimes, like 30 or 40 documents in.
Yeah.
Pages and pages and pages, and then tell it to reference that. And it does it in seconds. It's crazy. So I'm sure, like now, there's no telling, how fast and good it is.
Well, you called it, Ivan. I'll say this long ago, and, any listeners out there, if you've listened to this episode recently, let us know which one it was. But I'm talking 3, 4, 5 years ago. You said that eventually AI would be so sophisticated that detectives could just input all the information on the case and AI would just pop out the most likely. AI would solve it.
I still think, it's still got a long way to go, but I really think just the whole thing where you're just trying to, by hand, make those matches. It's just doing that for you, which is good. We'll be put out of a job. There's no new cases, but there's a lot of old ones.
There's a lot of old ones. So the FBI coined the term mobile serial predator. These were killers who didn't stay in one city, one county, or even one state. They exploited the gaps in law enforcement communication, and they were often truck drivers. By 2009, the FBI publicly stated the initiative had tracked hundreds of victims and identified over 400 potential suspects. 2 of 7 long-haul trucking routes became a focus. Investigators noticed that certain truck stops were repeated locations for victim discoveries. The Highway Serial Killings Initiative was no longer theoretical. It was an important operational framework, a web connecting lives and deaths along America's roads. Enter Sarah Nicole Hulbert. She's a victim we're going to talk about, tied to Delane Mendenhall.
Okay.
Bruce Delane Mendenhall, that
Gotcha.
is. By the way, I just realized, too, my dad is a long-haul trucker, and I do not mean to throw any shade at you, sir. You are a wonderful guy.
We have several listeners.
We have lots of trucker listeners. I just want to say only like 0.0000003% of all truckers are serial killers.
Because if you've traveled anywhere in the last few years, you know that it'd be a very small percentage.
Yes, very small. Very
small.
A lot
of trucks.
We have a lot of good friends that are truck drivers.
A lot of friends. Yeah. We love you guys.
Yeah.
We understand that very few of you are serial killers. Okay.
Yeah. Only a couple.
Only a few.
Odds are it's 1 or 2 of you.
Having said that, if I found out my dad had, golly, that'd be crazy, right? I just watched a documentary of BTK, Dennis.
I know. That's so funny.
You did too?
No, but when you started that sentence, I was thinking about his daughter.
Dennis Rader's daughter.
Before you even ever said BTK.
Yeah, she has a documentary out, My Father the Killer or some shit like that. But it's her coming to grips with, the man that she thought was a stand-up dude. And, I mean, really, scout troop leader and he was in church. He was active in all these things. Dennis Rader is an incredible case.
Sure.
And that's one that's so daunting. That'd be more daunting even than Jim Jones, maybe. But I've read so much about BTK. Maybe we'll do, if we ever did a series on him, guys, you thought Jim Jones was long? The BTK series would be like 20 episodes. It would be too much.
The part that I always think about is the fact that he asked the police if that letter could be traced.
It can't be traced through a floppy disk, can it?
Yeah.
Be honest, he said.
Yeah.
Be honest.
And then after they arrested him, he was like flabbergasted.
Yeah.
And he was like, how dare you?
No, yeah, he said to that one detective, he was like, you lied.
Yeah.
He's like, of course I did, you jackass. You're a killer. I'm trying to capture you.
Because we put it on the balance scale. It's lying versus killing. I mean, every once in a while, your wife say, how's my new hairdo? You're like, oh, it's great.
Oh, I love it.
It's like, oh, I guess you're a killer too. Like, come on, Dennis Rader.
Again,
pull your head out.
Going back to Forrest Gump. Mama said, little white lie never hurt nobody.
She was talking about the BTK case.
She was.
She
was.
It hadn't happened yet. But she's right.
Forrest was the BTK killer. We're going to work that in.
No, it's Jenny. Your friend Jenny.
So, Sarah Nicole Holbert. Before the headlines, before the court transcripts, before her name ever brushed up against Bruce Mendenhall's disgusting, nasty-ass, serial-killing piece of shit name.
Those are not from Lonnie's notes, by the way.
No, I added that.
I just thought I'd protect Lonnie for a second. Continue on, sir.
Sarah was a young woman trying to make it through the world. She was 25 years old, still that age range where most people are just, juggling bad jobs, overdue bills, the occasional, what am I even doing? Which I'm 45 and I still do that shit. But anyway, Sarah wasn't navigating that from a place of safety. She was battling addiction. And to support that addiction, she was doing sex work. Not out of thrill or rebellion, but because survival sometimes demands choices that outsiders misunderstand and insiders rarely get to explain. The frustrating thing, the almost infuriating thing, is how little of her life actually exists in public record. Court documents talk about her like she's a data point. History of drug abuse, and this is all like in, quotes. Engaged in prostitution, found deceased. That's all that's left of her.
Another thing that's odd about this, back to the Dennis Rader thing even, people that prey upon those people will have a thing where they hate the fact that they live that lifestyle, and that's part of the reason why I think Gary Ridgway said some stuff.
Dude,
like that.
I was just about to say his name.
So it's like,
you nailed it.
The ironic thing about that is you're going to kill him.
Yeah.
It's like, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's very, I'm starting to think these killers that are kind of have a weird moral structure. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
I'm starting to think their moral compass is a little off kilter. These goddamn serial killers.
It's always interesting. I always think that when I'm watching a true crime thing, especially when it's something like this, I'm always like, oh, so yeah, they're just vile humans, so you're going to kill them just because you're so much better than them.
Right, by ending their life.
Yeah.
The Green River Killer, if anyone wants to look that up, that's Gary Ridgway.
He claims to have killed 80.
That's another one where I've considered doing a series on him, but I'd have to just set aside 6 months of my life to do that research, and I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
That's a big case. Also, Willie Picton from up in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
He killed many, many prostitutes. I don't know if his was really a hatred of their profession or a hatred of women. He was just a really disturbed guy. But Gary Ridgway, you brought up the perfect example.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the other day John Douglas, the FBI serial profiler. I have a book, and I recommend it to anybody. It's how Ted Bundy and John Douglas profiled the Green River Killer. So it's John Douglas went to Ted Bundy during that entire thing. It was up near, it was like around SeaTac, and it was in Washington, around
Isn't
Seattle.
that how they got the idea for Silence of the Lambs?
I think so, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
it might
you guys
be
are right.
because it means obviously a lot of liberties were taken.
Yeah.
I mean, Bundy didn't do the liver thing.
No, but it's really interesting because John Douglas went to Bundy, and together they worked like Bundy was helping give him profiles of who he thought the Green River Killer was or how he thought he would behave. And it's insane how accurate Bundy was.
Yeah, I mean, he's a brilliant guy.
Yeah, he really was. I mean, just, putting his hobbies aside.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But who better to go to than a guy that was doing the same thing?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
So somewhere along the line, the person is stripped out and only the circumstances remain. I'm going back to now Sarah Hulbert, how she's just data points,
Sure.
And a lot of people will say like, oh, she was into drugs, doing sex work. Well, what'd she think was going to happen? And then they just dismiss it, right? But they don't think like, and I think about this a lot more too. Every person, even on these, like I'll be scrolling through Instagram and sometimes someone films someone that's like strung out on drugs and they're wandering through the street and they're tweaking out, they're being crazy. But more and more, ever since I've had kids and stuff, I think more like that person was a little kid at one time.
Yeah.
They were a little baby at one time. And then they were a little toddler, taking their first steps and going to school and learning different things. And, it really humanizes them. They're not just this. Something led up to this,
Sure.
It's not like you can't just look at someone and just dismiss them. Oh, tweaker, piece of shit, keep scrolling. No, man, it's really sad. That person had a life or has a life,
Some kind of chain reaction led them to that point.
That could happen to anybody. Like we all think that can't happen to us, but listen, man, everyone listening, I bet you're only 1 or 2 missed paychecks away from being homeless. You know what I mean? I know I am. I don't have a big-ass savings setback. I don't have a big, giant nest egg or cushion. Like most people out there are just 2 or 3 missed paychecks from just being destitute.
And not just that. I mean, they were just never taught. It's like, why don't they just clean up and get a job? It's like, well, they were never taught any of that. So, yeah, they're still a human.
Yep, absolutely. Also, not in Lonnie's notes, but let's get back to
Sure.
I know. Lonnie's been listening to us for years. He knows what we do. He's probably loving this. But Sarah was a real person, one with a childhood, with a family, someone who knew what her laugh sounded like. Her sister testified at trial, and even in that sterile setting, you can feel the love, the heartbreak of trying to help someone who's fighting demons bigger than either of you. It's a reminder that no one becomes, quote unquote, a vulnerable target in a vacuum. Life pushes, society fails, and people fall through the cracks that most of us pretend we don't see. That was really good written. That was well written, Lonnie.
Yeah, nice.
Seriously, I like that. But seriously, I want to write like that. I don't write like that. Now I'm jealous.
You do, but just in a different way.
God dang it. By late June 2007, By late June 2007, those cracks had led Sarah to the Truck Stop of America in Nashville. And that is literally, quote unquote, the Truck Stop of America. That's what it's called. That's the name of the place. If you've ever been to one of these places late at night, you know the atmosphere. A strange blend of fluorescent glare, diesel fumes, and the collective exhaustion of people who've been on the road way too long. It's not a place designed for safety. It's a place designed for waiting. And predators love places where people are waiting. Sarah walked into that environment with the same hope anyone in her position would have, to make some money to get through the next few hours, maybe even the next day. We don't know her thoughts that night, but we know her intentions were not violence. They never are with people in her situation. Her goal was simply to survive. When officers found her body behind the truck stop, posed in a way that immediately set off alarm bells, it wasn't just the brutality that stood out. It was the familiarity. Detectives had seen something like this before, just not in that exact spot, not with that exact victim. The details of her death echoed another woman found earlier that month at another Tennessee truck stop. Same kind of violence, same sense of deliberate staging, same signature of someone who wanted the world to see his message, even if the message did not make sense to anyone but him. Sarah's murder was not random. It was patterned. And in the world of homicide, patterns are the breadcrumbs that lead you to the wolf. Again, that's some damn good writing, son.
You just think he gets down the road and they're like, hey, did you hear about that woman back in Nashville? And he's like in there buying a, Mountain Dew and a Snickers. Isn't that weird that he did that? And because he wanted that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, it's crazy. Hope they catch him.
Again, back to BTK. That's why he got caught.
Yeah.
Listen, Dennis Rader would have never been caught if he did not, 30 years after the fact, start writing in and wanting attention. They were talking about the anniversary of BTK. Where is he at? I just watched a documentary on this, so it's all pretty fresh.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was like, I've been forgotten about. So after years of inactivity, he starts sending in letters again. And he got cocky and he wanted more attention. He would have never, ever been caught if it
I
wasn't
don't
for
think
that.
they had any good leads.
They didn't. And they didn't have DNA. They had nothing.
Yeah.
You know? And so in my opinion, I don't want to ever say absolutes. In my opinion, he would have never been caught if he hadn't done that.
Yeah.
So Sarah's death became a turning point, not because anyone suddenly cared more, but because investigators finally had 2 dots close enough on the map to draw a line between them. And that line kept growing, out of Nashville, out of Tennessee, out across the entire interstate system. That's the tragedy inside the tragedy. Sarah didn't choose the path that made her vulnerable, but her vulnerability made her invisible to the wrong person, not invisible, visible. And instead of her life being recorded, her death became the thing that made law enforcement stop and say, hold on, something bigger is happening here. But if this episode does anything, I hope it pushes back against the way the system reduces victims like her to mere footnotes. This echoes back to what we were talking about a while ago.
Sure.
Sarah Nicole Hulbert was not a prop in a horror story. She was a whole human being whose life deserved safety, dignity, and compassion. And even if the record doesn't preserve all the details of who she was, the fact that we're saying her name now means she is not just a case file. She's a person being remembered. I'll say it again, Sarah Nicole Hulbert. Now let's talk about Bruce Delane Mendenhall, a long-haul trucker, a man who knew the roads and the isolation of truck stops. It was July 2007 when Nashville police pulled over a truck matching surveillance footage from the murder of Sarah Nicole Hulbert.
That was going to be a question I was going to ask, because it seems like they had to have cameras all in those parking lots.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Even back in 2007.
Yes, so they had tied this back. We can elaborate more if anyone wants to know, but they knew the spot where she was found obviously was near that truck stop, and they did surveil the footage in the hours previous, and they did connect this particular truck, which ended up being Mendenhall's, to her murder. So inside the cab of the truck, when they finally discovered him and pulled him over, they found blood spattered on the seats and floor, personal items linked to other victims that had been discovered. For the first time, a tangible connection to a highway-linked murderer was in police hands. Mendenhall's crimes spanned multiple states, Tennessee, Indiana, and Kentucky, places where highways intersected, where rest stops offered anonymity. Investigators would later link at least 3 murders to him, with some cold cases still suspected to fall in his path. And yet, here's a crucial point. His capture was not the result of the HSK initiative. It was traditional police work, follow-up on surveillance footage, forensic evidence in the truck cab, connecting physical items to victims. What Mendenhall's case does illustrate is exactly why the HSK initiative exists. A mobile highway-using killer like him fits the exact profile the FBI had begun tracking. After Mendenhall, the initiative gained more public attention. Analysts emphasized that there was a pattern, not just one offender. The HSK database allowed investigators to contextualize his crimes among other similar patterns. Even if Mendenhall himself had been caught through local law enforcement, the program could now flag other potential mobile killers before they disappeared along another highway. Think of it as a map. Each dot is a victim. Each line is a potential path. HSK isn't a detective by itself. It's the collective memory of every state, every county, every unsolved homicide where a body was found near asphalt. Cases once thought isolated now had a chance of being connective. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
The initiative also represents hope for families. The communities that may never know someone disappeared, for journalists and podcasters like us trying to give context to these cold cases. It's a tool that bridges gaps, cuts through bureaucracy, and reminds us mobility should not equal invisibility. And so we return to the road. Highways aren't just concrete and lines. They are conduits of human experience, freedom, and sometimes terror. Bruce Delane Mendenhall's crimes are horrifying and tragic. They are preventable also in hindsight, and yet they are exactly the kind of case that pushed the FBI to create the Highway Serial Killings Initiative. The initiative is more than statistics. It's about connecting dots, giving victims names, giving families hope, making sure the highways don't just keep bodies hidden in the shadows. Remember, the road is long and sometimes lonely. But even in darkness, there are threads of light, and in those threads we find the work of justice, of understanding, and of remembrance.
Yeah, I would assume you just put in your as much information about your case as you have and check some boxes, and it sends out some other potential victims that maybe you could string some clues together.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's super beneficial.
Yep, and I bet they've honed it and revised it many times since 2004, 21 years.
And now, like I said earlier, AI, I mean, it might even do it itself now.
Yeah. Yeah, because you could just ask AI, hey, can you connect, here's these certain crimes, or here's a certain interstate section or something, could it go through like files, or how would it do that?
No, I mean, the AI now, I mean, you could put in a PDF. You can put in a YouTube video, and within a few seconds, it'll give you a result. I put in one about a 10-minute video, and it gave me results, and it didn't take 10 minutes, so it's not like it watched it.
Wow.
It just uses a transcript because YouTube makes transcripts
of
videos automatically, so that's what it does. So, yeah, I just kind of wonder this thing. I've been thinking about this thing like, you got the Morgan Nick alerts and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder now if AI can just like access all those cameras. I mean, it'd be awesome if it could, all those license plate cameras. I mean, if it could just automatically do that and then pull well, of course it's closed circuit TV for a reason, but you know what I mean? It's like, if it could automatically do all that, that would save you a ton of time and legwork. I mean, that's eventually got to happen too.
Yeah.
If it doesn't already happen, I'm sure
all
it does.
it needs is access.
Exactly.
That's the only thing it needs.
That's all it
is
does.
access.
Yeah,
and
totally.
so that's how it's as smart as it is.
Sure.
You ask it a question real quick, and it goes and looks through all the things that it has access to.
Yeah.
And then it, as humanly as it can, tells you
exactly
what you want to know. It's faster than Google. It's faster than doing anything yourself. I don't even Google anything anymore.
I don't either.
I just go ask ChatGPT.
Well, now Google they've integrated into Google. So even if you Google it now, it's like, here's the AI results.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
And it's basically, they just figured out a way to make it access a whole bunch of stuff. Instead of the old days of Google, it was like, did you mean, or no results, 0 results. We'll tell kids, later, it's like, hey, when we were kids, we could Google something and it'd say 0 results. And they'd be like, it did? Like, it won't say that anymore.
Yeah.
It can figure out what you said.
Yeah.
Even if you spell it horridly, which I do sometimes.
Me too.
It's like, oh, you're talking about this. You know, it's like, oh, yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it really is.
And I fight with it. Like Sam said, all they need is more access. And I agree with that. That is all they need in help in solving these crimes. And part of me is like, yeah, who cares if they know everything I do? But another part of me, I'm like a libertarian at heart.
Yeah, no.
Another part of me is like,
you.
the government doesn't need to know a goddamn thing I'm doing.
Sure.
Our government is too bloated and large and power hungry anyway.
Yeah.
They don't need to know anything.
Sure.
So I fight with those two parts of me fight.
It's tough because shady characters can hide behind that too. The government doesn't need to know what I'm doing. It's like, yeah, they need to know what you're doing, but not what I'm doing. It's like, it's just a tough thing. I don't know, I almost think like give it access, but when it's discovered that they used it in a nefarious way, then you're going down big time, but that will never happen.
No, that's true.
So it's tough. Yeah, it is a tough thing. As much as I like technology, as much as I like stuff like that, you're right. I'm with that too, because I think back where they're spying on everyone's phone after 9/11.
Patriot Act and all that shit. Yeah.
It's like, okay, I see why you're doing that, but wait a second.
A lot of the times you'll notice the government exploits a tragedy, and the answer is always more surveillance.
Sure.
It's always less freedom for us. It's what it always ends up being. So going back to the episode, that concludes the pre-written part of the episode, which was, by the way, fantastic. Thank you, Lonnie, for that well-researched and well-written episode.
He should write an audiobook. That's awesome.
It was really good, man. I'm kind of jealous.
No one goes to write an audiobook, but you get what I'm saying. A book.
There you go.
There we go.
But I couldn't help but expand a little bit on the highway serial killer theme, okay? So from here on is me, okay? Which probably ain't going to be as good, but whatever. I got to wondering just how many highway serial killers there have been over the years. The one that immediately came to mind for me was Robert Ben Rhodes. He was a long-haul trucker who killed 2 couples in Illinois and Texas. Based on the overlapping of his truck routes and a long list of missing persons, he is suspected in the torture, rape, and murder of at least 50 women.
Holy
I'll say that again.
Nikes.
50 women from 1975.
But they'll never know for sure.
They never will. But yeah, he operated from 75 to 1990. On April 1st, 1990, Rhodes was finally caught, literally in the act of torturing a woman he'd abducted and handcuffed in his truck.
Did he get pulled over?
Yes. And this is one of the most, if you're into true crime, people are already knowing what I'm talking about. One of the most haunting photographs that you will ever see associated with a true crime case is tied to Robert Ben Rhodes. Okay? And I'll continue with what I wrote here. The victim that haunts me the most of his is Regina K. Walters. And so anyone listening, whenever you get a chance, I want you to Google Regina K. Walters, and you will see this picture. It will immediately come up. It's one of the most haunting pictures. It's not grotesque. She's not being tortured, but
it's context, isn't it?
It's context. And we'll explain it in a minute. So Regina was just 14, and she and her boyfriend, 18-year-old Ricky Lee Jones, they had ran away from their respective homes in Pasadena, Texas on February 3rd, 1990. So May 26, 1990, the partial skeleton of Ricky Lee Jones was found near Harleton, Texas. He had been shot in the head. Regina's badly decomposed body was found in the loft of an abandoned barn near Greenville, Illinois, nearly 8 months after Ricky was found. So she had been strangled to death sometime in early March. Rhodes was connected to the murders, and after his capture, several pictures of Regina were found in his possession, some with her in the midst of torture. Now, those I have not seen, but the one made public is the most haunting one. That's the one I'm talking about. It shows Regina standing in the very loft where her body was later found. Rhodes had chopped off her long raven hair and made her wear a black dress and heels. Her hands are up in a defensive position, and the look on her face suggests she knew very well what was about to happen. It's seriously one of the most haunting photographs I've ever seen. Rhodes is 80 years old now, still serving his life sentence at a prison in Illinois. So this picture, he cropped her hair off, he put her in this outfit, and if you saw it with no context, you would just think it was a random picture, a little odd, but her hands are up. It's just knowing, she knows, man. It's just so disturbing to me.
Is that barn like right off the highway? I just always wonder if that's like one of those truck on the side of the road, the lights flashing, and then they just like takes her up to the barn that's right off the road.
It's not. It wasn't far from an interstate. I can't remember which one, but yeah, it was near an interstate.
Yeah,
and a farmer eventually went up there and found it. But
oh, man,
dude, I mean, you can find. There's many other pictures of Regina, you know, from her normal life, and she was a beautiful girl. She's beautiful in the picture. It's just in a haunting way.
Yeah,
but yeah, she's just standing there with her hands kind of up, and she has a very concerned look on her face. And it was a staged photo from Rhodes. And
maybe one of these days it'll be like time travel for real, and way in the future, somebody will just listen to true crime.
Yeah, that's what to do if you're a time traveler.
Yeah, exactly, and be like, okay, well, my first thing is to, of course, I'd want to go before the barn.
Oh, well before, yeah. That goes back to that moral dilemma: would you kill baby Hitler? Would you go back to these serial killers?
No, you would adopt it.
Yeah.
And take it home and show it love. And then he probably still did the same thing.
Right.
It's red genetic. No, I don't even know. He kills more people. No, I don't even know.
That's the thing. What caused Hitler to go down the road he went down? You know, I'm sure people know. I mean,
World War I.
Right.
I mean, he felt Germany was, after all that, was very unfair.
Right.
Dealt.
Right.
But I mean, they did try to take over the world.
And then he read material that definitely did not portray Jewish people in the most, you know, in the brightest light.
Yeah, I just thought that, you know, it was a conspiracy.
Right. Started hating them. So, yeah, maybe if you, instead of killing baby Hitler, because I've heard that's came up so much, like someone is like, okay, could you really walk up to baby Hitler? Let's say he's 2 years old. He was a fat, little, chubby 2-year-old toddler. Could you just walk up and cap a toddler?
No.
Even knowing that millions of people were about to die? I think
kidnap him.
Yeah, that's right. Your idea is much better.
I
You
imagine
adopt
he's like
him.
holding the bar, standing up in his little crib, and he's going like, and you're like, okay, I'll give you a rattle.
Yeah. Your idea is better. Instead of killing the poor little guy, you try to show him love, and I don't know.
You watch him pretty close, though. You know, it's like, you know, he's about 10 years old, and it's like, oh, man, we did something bad at school to get expelled for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So, man, I should have killed you.
I like to use him as the perfect example of how everyone likes to put humans in black and white categories. Like people are either all good or all bad, you know. If someone does these things, they're just bad. But like Hitler, I think he loved dogs. He was like really sweet. He had a little dog named, I just listened to the Martyr Maid podcast.
Oh, okay.
It's called the Martyr Maid podcast. And he did the whole thing on World War I, and he covered Hitler from his birth to whatever. And he was a dog lover. He had this little dog, and I can't remember what the dog's name was, but it was like his prized little buddy, you know. And It's so strange because even the worst people have good qualities about them. Even the best people have terrible qualities
So
sometimes.
you go back in time and you have to get a lot of them, though, because he had a lot of henchmen that were as evil or just as evil as him.
Goring.
So you have this
God.
huge little orphanage, and it's like, well, here's Adolf and Hans and Hans and Hans and Hans and Hans.
We just got to show these guys a lot of love and keep all the hatred out of their hearts.
Yeah. You bring in like hippie guitarists, and,
Yes.
and it's like you show them a bunch of Joan Baez performances.
You bring in the hippie from Beavis and Butthead, where he's like, "Oh, we're just gonna play a little song."
I don't
okay?
know. That might turn out bad.
Everyone's fine. Everyone's cool.
That might not
You're
work.
just supposed to judge people based on each individual person and never lump people into large groups and then therefore hate large groups and try to exterminate them. We're just gonna love each other. Something could have happened. Something different. Shall we move on?
We shall.
I literally just said Hitler liked dogs also. This may just come across in the worst way.
Yeah, dogs are pretty hard to like.
Joe from Dawn of Mantis takes up for Hitler. No, he's a horrible guy that killed millions of people, but also, I'm just saying, sometimes it's confusing because he also really loved dogs.
I mean, you take a dog into death row with some guy that's killed a bunch of people, I think you're going to get a smile out of him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to be like, oh, I hate dogs too. I'm going to kill him. No, he's probably going to pet him.
Yeah. That was just trying to illustrate how sometimes even the worst people have good qualities.
No, we
about
got
them.
you.
All right.
We know what you're saying.
We're not big enough to cancel yet anyways. No one cares. Then there's Keith Jesperson, a trucker and serial killer who murdered at least 8 women in the United States during the early 1990s, though he has claimed many more. Jesperson gained the nickname the Happy Face Killer because he drew smiley faces on the letters in which he confessed to the murders. Early in the investigation, 2 other people were wrongfully convicted for one of his murders, prompting Jesperson to begin writing anonymous confession letters to the newspapers and law enforcement. Again, he would have gotten away with it forever. 2 other people. We'll get to it. Yeah,
so if you're out there, keep doing what you're doing. Keep confessing. Get that power grab.
Yeah.
Don't ever set on your laurels. I'm not saying to kill. Right.
So what's crazy is, if I remember this correctly, I didn't write it down in the notes, but it was a woman who wanted to get away from her crazy abusive boyfriend, and she confessed to the police that the boyfriend had killed the people that Jesperson, thinking that he would go away.
I saw a thing about that.
Okay.
And she pointed to the place that one of the victims was found, and no one else could have known it. But she was right.
Right. And I still can't explain that.
They couldn't on the show either.
No. But what's weird is, so he did go away, but she also went away as an accomplice, which she did not. She didn't put that in the plans.
Yeah.
She just thought he would go away and she'd be free, but she went away for like 10 years. So anyway, Jesperson was arrested in 1995 after evidence connected him to a victim in Washington State. He's currently serving multiple life sentences without the possibility of parole. So I Googled some notable serial killers who were also truck drivers, and I came up with the following. Not all of them, but here's a few. Edward Surratt. So he was a former truck driver suspected of more than a dozen murders in the 1970s across Pennsylvania and Ohio. He later confessed to several murders while he was already incarcerated. Then there was Wayne Adam Ford, a California trucker who killed 4 women before turning himself in. And I am not joking. We need to do a whole episode about this guy. When Wayne walked into the sheriff's department to confess, he had one of his victims' severed breast in a Ziploc bag in his coat pocket.
He didn't want to be turned away, did he?
I hope everyone caught that. He went in and confessed, and then he also said, by the way, here is the severed breast of one of my victims in a Ziploc bag in my coat pocket. That really happened. We live in a wacky world, do we not? I think people gloss over stuff like that too much. They're like, oh, that's crazy. I'll keep scrolling. No, that freaking happened. Stop for a minute and think about that. Are you kidding me? That's insane. He had a body part in his pocket.
Yeah.
Then there's John Robert Williams, a long-haul trucker convicted of murdering at least 2 women, suspected of many more along his delivery routes. So the exact number, this is crazy. These are what I'm going to throw out here. The exact number of trucker serial killers, of course, is unknown, but the FBI's Highway Serial Killings Initiative that we've been talking about, they have identified over 850 murders linked to long-haul truckers. and they're investigating 450 suspects.
It's not only that, though. Have you seen this thing? And there's a show about it, but also, like, I bought some tires and wheels from Oklahoma City, and I didn't have time to go get them. So I got on this thing. What's it called? Do you know, Sam? Like, it's like some kind of like U-ship or something.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah,
where
there used to be a TV show about it.
Yeah, like where people
Like a
would bid.
reality show.
Yeah, where people bid on like different hauls or whatever, and they're like, oh.
It was the people doing the hauling. Yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
So I'm just saying there's another, and within about 10 minutes, I had like a whole bunch of messages like, I'll do it for 75. I'll do it for.
Yeah.
So there's that too. There's a lot of people that make their living just by like listing those out, like hauling people. It's not just truckers.
Right.
So at least 25 long-haul truckers are currently in prison for multiple murders. So here's some data from the FBI initiative. 850 murders of women, often hitchhikers, runaways, or sex workers, have been linked to truckers. I think that's elaborating on that number earlier. 25 long-haul truckers, Ben Rhodes, like I mentioned earlier, Keith Jesperson, the happy face killer. And yeah, that's just reiterating what I already said. The FBI is actively investigating 450 individuals that are truckers in connection with unsolved cases in the HSKI database.
Another thing that probably helps out a lot is that Pike Pass thing.
Oh, yeah.
When you go through there and it scans you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're probably, I mean, I'm sure some stuff's solved by that.
You would think it would have to be because that puts you in the place, at, the right place at the right time.
Also puts 500 other trucks in that time frame.
Imagine going through all that. Yeah.
But like I said, a computer could do it.
True.
Like, well, we need a yellow Freightliner.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was seen at the time or whatever.
Yep.
I'm making it sound simple. I know it's not simple.
No, but AI is like the best helper you have. It's going to be the answer to a lot of this stuff.
And I don't even know. I mean, we said a lot about AI, but I just think just like some kind of computer thing to organize thing, even if it's not AI going through it all. I mean, at least like you said, the database and you're able to, look into that. I mean, that's like Sam said. I mean, have it all in one place is the best thing.
Yep, that's true. So good episode, Lonnie.
Yeah, it's a great episode. Yeah.
That was great. Thanks, man, for bringing that to my attention. Out of all the years of true crime stuff I've done, I've never really dove into that at all. So that was a good idea.
It'll be interesting when we have a case later. I'm sure that's going to come back up.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So, hey, everyone, thank you for listening to this. If you enjoyed the episode, give Lonnie a shout out. It wasn't my fault. He did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was good. That was some good writing, though, man. It was more difficult to read something that I have not written or whatever because that's just how my brain works. But it was actually really cool to read something I didn't write because I was like, oh, well, I really like the way you put that.
Sure, yeah.
That was really interesting.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Hey, yeah, anybody else listening, if you want to take a crack at it, I'm not playing around. I'll if it's coherent enough that I can form it into an episode, send me something. If you have something you like or if you want to write out something.
To go way easier on you, I mean, 4174-MANTIS, text us your idea for an episode or get on the socials. You can find us Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Dawn of Mantis podcast.
Yeah.
Dawn of Mantis podcast.
I can honestly say we have done several listener-suggested episodes.
Sure.
Lowell Badger was one.
Yeah.
One of our most played episodes was one, too, and I can't remember the young lady's name that disappeared, or I think she was murdered, and there hasn't been a conviction yet. But anyway, we've done several that you'll have suggested, so keep them coming. We'll do that. If you want to write one out, too, I'll try that, too. I'm up for anything.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you again for listening. Everyone, we will see you next week. Good night.
In the shadow of the pines they speak, whispers rising where the lost ones peak. Joe's got the facts that keep us informed about true crime, mystery, and so much more. Friday morning, the curtains torn. Truth and myth in the Ozark morn. It's a remedy for too much time on your hands. Just take a little listen to the Dawn of Mantis podcast. They got murders, vanishings, coats and cold hard lore, aliens and Bigfoot knocking at your door. The stories hide. disappearances where secrets collide. Coats that chant beneath the moon's grin, a world of shadows where tales begin. Every corner a whispered name, echoed cries that fuel the flame. It's the remedy for too much time on your hands. Just take a little listen to the Dawn of Mantis podcast. They've got murders, vanishings, cults and cold hard lore, aliens and Bigfoot knocking at your door.